Welcome to another episode of the Joe Flow Sports Show. Thanks again for tuning in. Got a great episode for you today. Definitely want to just preview the men's Big Ten basketball season, which actually started yesterday, but the Indiana Hoosiers start tonight. So I definitely want to get those previews, my previews, and just run through the top 5 teams to me in the Big Ten this year, and who I think is ultimately going to be the Big Ten champion this year. So yeah, I just first off want to start by actually saying, or actually putting, I guess, a sleeper team in there out of the top 5, and that sleeper team to me is going to be the Northwestern Wildcats this year. They started off great. I believe they are 12-2 to start the season. Ironically, they've never made the never made the NCAA tournament. So, I think this year they can finally get over the hump, get at least 21, 22 rims, and solidify their spot in the tournament. I definitely like what Chris Collins has done down there. He's been there for 3 or 4 years now, but finally recruiting some statewide and national-wide players to come to Northwestern. So, great job by him and the Northwestern staff, and I definitely think they're going to be right in the hunt for the Big Ten tournament this year as well. I'm just going to run down my number 5 team, who I think is going to finish this year in the Big Ten. And that's going to be the Maryland Terrapins. Absolutely love Melo Trimble. He's definitely a top 5 point guard in the league right now, and just continues to get better every year. I'm very surprised. I thought he was going to declare for the draft last year, but he decided to come back this year, and it's paying dividends, and I think should be a first-round pick this year in the draft, NBA draft. They have some big young talent that came into Maryland as well, so I like Maryland being the finished number 5 in the Big Ten. My number 4 team in the Big Ten might be a little surprising, but I'd still like Michigan State. I know they're banged up and with their centers and their power forwards. A lot of them are out. But they have some 2 stud freshmen in Nick Ward and also Miles Bridges, who are playing some really good basketball right now. And I think they're going to only continue to get better. Plus, they got the best coach in Big Ten. And to me, the top 3 best coaches in college basketball, and Tom Izzo. So just watch out for Michigan State. I know they started off very, very slow, but they've also had one of the toughest schedules in college basketball this year. So I definitely like Michigan State finishing number 4 in the Big Ten this year. My number 3 team, Indiana team, Purdue Boilermakers. They're probably the biggest team in the Big Ten with their size, with Caleb Swanigan, and their other center, Haas, as well as Spike Aldridge, who transferred from Michigan. So that helps out and solidifies their guard play. And they're just playing really, really good basketball right now. And I like Purdue to finish number 3 in the Big Ten. My number 2 team in the Big Ten this year is definitely the Wisconsin Badgers. They have a all-around, probably the best player in the Big Ten in Nigel Hayes, as well as another great point guard on their team, Bronson Koenig. Those guys this is their senior years together, so they know how to play, and some of the young pieces are coming together very well. And Wisconsin's always a dangerous team in the Big Ten. And my number 1 team in the Big Ten, I don't want to be biased, but the Indiana Hoosiers. I mean, they have all the intangibles to potentially be a national championship team this year. Their Achilles heel definitely is their defense. They got to their help side defense is terrible, but just like last year when we started off slow and won the Big Ten, their defense picked up as the season went on, and I fully expect the Hoosiers to do the same thing this year. They're definitely carried by 4 players, but 3 people I'm going to talk about is OG Anunoby, James Blackman Jr., and Thomas Bryant. Fantastic guys. As well, I want to throw Will Blackman in there too, because I think he's a phenomenal guard for us. But yeah, I think this is the deepest team Tom Green's had this year, or since he's been at IU. And I just think, we're going to continue to get better. Also, we beat North Carolina and Kansas this year. So that definitely helps the resume and builds confidence for the young guys. We've played some lesser competition, I should say, and especially at Indiana. I definitely like to play some of that, lesser competition, not at home, and win some of those games away to build a little bit more confidence in us. But yeah, if we continue to shoot good like we do, we're going to be probably the top scoring team all year, and I think it's just going to be really hard. Since the Big Ten, to me, is down this year, I think it's going to be really hard for teams to play at the Hoosiers' speed. So yeah, just wanted to give you a breakdown of the Big Ten basketball season coming up. And yeah, those are my top 5 teams, to me, that are going to end up coming out of the Big Ten, potentially into the NCAA tournament, as well as, I think, like I said, Northwestern Wildcats has a great chance this year to finally make the big dance. So again, thank you for tuning in to the Joe Flo Sports Show. Follow me on Facebook, Joseph Florentine, Joe Flo Sports Show. Follow me on Twitter at Joe Flo Sports. And thanks again for tuning in. Stay sporty, my friends.